And hello, folks. Welcome to the Corporate Esports Association Fall 2025 Marvel Rivals Finals. JT Displays here, alongside my good friend and co-caster today, FBI Tugboat here, for a fantastic match between our two top teams now through this tournament here, where we've got the an epic victory for the another epic victory for Epic Systems and Google's Mightiest Heroes for Google here. Tugboat, how you feeling about that?
Doing great. Been looking forward to this one since I woke up this morning. There's been a lot of competition, JT, through this regular season. The cream of the crop, however, has risen to the top. Yes, we have number 1 seed, another epic victory. Number 2 seed, Google's Mightiest Heroes, going forth to do battle in what is a rematch, of course, of the upper finals of that winners finals. Man, I can't talk today. Let's go ahead and check out that bracket and see exactly how we got here, JT. Top 4 teams did punch their ticket, and get your brooms out, folks. It has been all sweeps so far.
Yeah, a sweeping bracket in these playoffs here, and to me, it just does scream that there is a cream of the crop, like you were mentioning here, in this talent pool here. And the great thing about it is that now we get to see them try to, for Google's Mightiest Heroes, they've got a little bit of revenge on the mind there. Meanwhile, for another epic victory, they've only got one thing on their mind, and that is complete and total domination, in addition to their charities. That's right, folks. To remind you all, both teams do have a charity that they are playing for there for another epic victory. It is Doctors Without Borders, whereas Google's Mightiest Heroes coming in with their charity of Make-A-Wish. So both great causes there to get a split of that charity pot there.
Yeah, so cash money specifically, it is $1,008, not $1,000, JT. $1,008 going on to the first place, $504 going on to second. Big shout out to, yes, AIMD, the squad obviously coming on over from AMD, making on into the losers finals there, and will be securing $168 for their charity. So once again, just out here making the world a better place by playing a little bit of video games. I want to give a big shout out to Amazon Luna as well, specifically for powering today's finals and helping us to bring this competition to all of you. I also want to give a big fat shout out to the individual behind the scenes, that is Rhino, pushing the buttons, ones and zeros, man behind the scenes, pulling the strings and making our jobs as casters, JT, that much easier. So we very much appreciate him. That's Rhino on the ones and zeros of production today.
Couldn't hear us, we couldn't do it without him at all, and we couldn't do it without the maps and without the game itself. So let's take a look at where we're at. Starting off here tonight, it looks like we are going to have Yggdrasil Path there, a convoy map to kick us off there, chosen by the number 1 seed there, which is another epic victory. So just to remember, folks, there the loser will get to choose the next one there, and it is a best of 7. So whoever gets to 4 map victories there will be taking home the prize here tonight. The top prize.
Yeah. Yeah, the top prize. Yes, that's a very good point. Both of these teams will have some cash money going on to some charities that are making this world a better place. After this is just kind of like a $500 match to see who of those two charities, Doctors Without Borders, Make-A-Wish Foundation, gets $1,008. Excuse me, and the other team gets that 504. Picks bands on your screen right now.
Yeah, and this one I think should be interesting now that we are fully into the new season here. With Gambit in play here, I don't know how that will affect these picks and bans here. Already we're going to see a Gambit immediately taken out there, as well as an Emma Frost, so you've got to have a little bit less effectiveness from a Magneto player there. Not to say that Magneto is ever less effective truly in a Marvel Rivals game.
Yeah, it's super meta. Definitely my tank pick always. Got the Lord Banner on there a while ago. I did. So that's gonna be a Bucky Protect here for the side of Epic. Epic Squad, another epic victory. Now where do you go here? I'm not really thinking any kind of healer bans here. Thinking another DPS. No, excuse me, I was incorrect. Invisible Woman will be played by the side of Google.
And I love a good Invisible Woman on my team there. I think that that's one of the most consistent healers, especially when I'm playing support. Her healing ability, I think, really kind of shines well in just helping the survivability of some of those flyers there as well. Surprisingly, just with that, a little bit of shield that she can kind of give them that they can kind of hide behind for a little bit of time there. And there's different ways, but we'll see Hella being taken out there from Epic and Daredevil being gone as well. So a lot of the new heroes, Google's not feeling the new heroes just yet. Maybe they feel like, that's not in their hero pool yet. They haven't put enough time on it to really feel comfortable with it, I think.
I can agree with that. Psylocke going to get protected here from the side of Epic. With Hella's team up with Namor, it just makes sense. Something that people don't talk about enough, JT, is the fact that there's a lot of just natural concealment, almost like, think like Call of Duty and smoke grenades or PUBG or whatever else like that, right? There's a lot of concealment, not hard cover behind all the graphics that Namor and Hella's team up yields, right? You're basically have like a little mini Invisible Woman ultimate. Obviously doesn't heal, but it completely blocks off sight of you, and it's hard to hit what you can't see, JT.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's definitely something that makes sense. You're gonna, so you see them protecting that Namor there, which I think is an interesting pick there for Google. Again, it's less powerful overall, but I do love a good Namor too, because as someone that when playing League of Legends, I play a Heimerdinger. At least I used to a lot. It's definitely somewhere I love a good turret, and it gives you those different sight angles there. Magic Gun wiped off the board there, and no ban for the last one. It looks like kind of interesting choice to leave that open there. Want a little bit more free flowing.
Not 100% sure about that one, not going to lie. I really don't feel like there's ever a reason to not ban a character, even if you just kind of hit your lucky number, right? Even if you're not familiar with the squad, which would not make a whole lot of sense given that these two teams face each other during the regular season. And, of course, this is a rematch of that upper finals, the winners finals. I said it right this time, JT. Even if it's just a situation of, even just a healer or something like that, right? I don't know.
30 seconds before you attack.
So we'll see what happens here in the next 30 seconds. We may have a disconnect
reset,
potentially. Yeah, we'll see if that if they are able to get back there, or if that's something that we may have to reset here. Luckily, Mariah is very forgiving in that regard. I think they, it's pretty easy to kind of jump in and jump out more or less, and just Nope. Back again now with the Doctor Strange. So, Doctor Strange there for the tank picks there with Strange and Group makes sense there for Google there. And then for the tank picks there, you've got very, again, the Angela, much more well buffed here in this season as we're now underway with Google trying to get this done first on attack.
That's a lot of damage, and yes, Blue Crimson, the captain here for another epic victory, falls first and early, JT. Another pick. Not going to see any tanks for the side of another epic victory for another little while until Blue Crimson teammate now switching on over to the Doctor Strange. That just makes sense. You have a Namor on the other side. You have this Groot on the other side. It's going to be really, really tough to get those kidnaps from the Angela. So.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those ones where I think Angela got some pretty needed buffs this season there, but it is still one of those champions that's still on the fringe for a lot of players, hero pools there. So again, like you said, making the switch over to Doctor Strange makes sense here as we get right into this team fight here. A lot of big damage being dished out here, but both teams doing a really good job. There's healers keeping their folks alive on either side there. Now on the board here with Loki on the Epic side there as you watch him trying to get this part stopped here before this first checkpoint.
The try as they might, the Tail Toxie and Invisible Woman ult may have been enough to really shift the tides of battle here. No contest, and that's going to be first point for Google's Mightiest Heroes. Once again, folks, this is a rematch. This is a squad. Google's Mightiest Heroes that dropped 0-3 in the upper finals there, so this is a fantastic start.
Yeah, really good start by them here, but this second choke point here, a little bit different area of coverage there, a lot more availability to kind of work these sight angles. So you see Pigment here on the Star-Lord there. I forgot his name for half a second there, but we're back at it there as
I do that all the time.
That's Star-Lord. Now we see the Phoenix coming in here from Google, gets the KO, and Groot as well coming in with the ults. Really help push this cart forward here. Really getting into the face of another epic victory here. Google is doing a great job. Almost a complete team white here, and they're going to have a lot of movement on this card here. Maybe even get to the next checkpoint before they get to another team fight.
Well, they just used the Kildare Invisible Woman ultimate. They have pretty much the rest of their squad glowing outside of the Wolverine, but wall up twice. Standard plays here for the Groot, and Google's Mightiest Heroes uses just a really, really simple character ability to purchase the second point. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left. Google getting it done so far.
Yeah, and so far, like you said, another ability not finding the answers that we expected them to have early on in this one here. But again, this is only half the battle here for map number 1. Taking a look here at Air Cakes on the Luna Snow there, trying to keep everybody alive right here, doing a really good job just keeping everybody up and stable for Google. Even that Doctor Strange getting a little bit of challenge does go down there. Now you see Pikmin coming, popping off here on the Star-Lord. Hits that legendary on the ult there, trying to dish out as much damage as possible here. And Snug getting in on here. Nice little counterattack here. Move from another epic victory here. As you see, Talo getting on the Wolverine. I do love a good Wolverine, just getting in people's faces and slicing them to bits.
Slicing and dicing, yes. Talio? Talio? Maybe we'll just call him Te, right? I'm not 100%
yeah, I think
sure.
Talio.
Talio? Gotcha. Sounds good. Talio really just purchasing that entire team fight themselves, JT. Just put the squad on the back. Pop Q. I got all the value in the world from it. Namor on board your screen right now, trying to get some chip damage in here, and this Groot has just been punishing the front lines of Google's Mightiest Heroes. This is the stop that another epic victory was looking for.
Yeah, Blue Crimson here holding on to that ult as well, and doesn't really need to use it just yet, as they're feeling pretty comfortable after taking those first 2 points pretty quickly there from Google. And now we're going to see them try to respond to it here, as they've got a couple ults on their side here. Here comes a big one from the Phoenix coming in there, and now you see another one from Namor as well dropped in. The Invisible Woman has to respond with her ult, keeps everybody alive, and you got Loki waiting in the wings for another epic victory. But man, what damage coming out here from Google in this team fight. Absolutely a triple here from Laid Off.
A fantastic job and well-placed ultimate here from the Groot. You really just saw on the other side, Snugs' shield just kept getting lower and lower, right? So it was a situation of just burn shield, and then we're going to find all the value in the world from this ultimate. Walls up, walls back, and walls in front. This is a very well set up Google Mightiest Heroes squad, and that's going to make it a lot harder. 5v6 and your main source of damage against the tanks down. Another epic victory. Might even want to consider just trying to stall like a little bit, just wait for the Wolverine to come back. Here comes a lot of ultimates, 2 down quickly, as Pick is not able to find a whole lot on the backside. Cover the spawn door, and this should be Google's Mightiest Heroes getting in with a couple of minutes.
Yeah, the Eye of Agamotto came down there from Snugs, but Air Cakes was able to help keep that from being too damaging with that, and that is going to be all the way to the finish line. A nice little 2.5 minutes almost left for Google's Mightiest Heroes. They switch from offense to defense.
You'll need a top-notch team to win
Yeah,
this.
honestly, pretty. There was a
Not fast.
couple of like decent stops. It was very fast. There was a couple of decent stops there in the middle for another epic victory. Blue Crimson's the captain here of this squad. Ruben on the other side. You can see those little flags next to their names indicating that. Problems on the defense. I gotta say, they didn't have an answer right for the individual DPS play. I mean, the Namor absolutely popped off. Every ultimate they tossed was money, money, money. And then once you throw in the Phoenix as well, I mean, did that Phoenix not get at least one elimination? I think they only got one once, but other than that, it was 2 or even more after that with the help from the teammates, JT.
Yeah, and you're taking a look here at these hits here. You know, Ruben absolutely popping off with 19 for Google there. Scroll Zor on the Penny Parker this time there, but I believe they may have been, they were the off tank last time, and that Groot 17 Laid Off has absolutely been a face wrecker there. So I think it's gonna be up to Deadlock to see if they can match him in this chance here as they switch to offense.
10 final hits and putting up numbers similar to their DPS. Why can't I get these groups on my top teams?
Right.
Let's see how this continues on here. Laid Off is literally already at 20%, and this Magneto finds all the flack in the world. Penny on the other side, her buffs have made her decently worthwhile. You mix that with a Rocket Raccoon and you might find something that you like, but that's just an immediate wipe off the first little corny here, which is generally going to be, oh man. Dude, they got to do something about Moon Knight. This game was, what, 31 seconds in. Not even 31 seconds in. Moon Knight's dropping ultimates.
Hey, that's balance for you if I've ever seen it, right? That's absolute balance as Penny goes down here. Now a little bit of chance here. Epic finding some breathing room as that Moon Knight gets to work here and absolutely shredding them down there. Listen, there's a reason why you got to be careful, you know, look for where those onks are at there, because it's just, you get in this radius of them there and you get melted. Another ult already on board here for this Moon Knight. He drops it immediately here, trying to push him into this first one. They say, hey, y'all went down there 2.5 minutes, we can do it faster, and I think that's all they're here. They only care about is speed run.
Yeah, that really does seem to be the case. An attempted Phoenix ultimate on the backside. This is going to be nothing more than a stall for a couple of seconds, JT. Answers from Google. We do have the Ruben Namor ultimate up here soon. Laid off will have their Groot ult soon, but everything else was tossed into that previous fight with no positive effect.
Yeah, and I think that ult economy will become crucial here. You see laid off already getting chunked down there, being focused out, being, you know, just trying to peel, find, get that ult. Now we'll pop it off here and get that engaged here. Moon Knight stuck, gets taken out immediately. Nice little targeting from the group. Now a response here from Magneto. Can't get the kill that he was looking for there. But they are maintaining this little skirmish here and just kind of slowly advancing away halfway through stage 2.
Yeah, this is just a really, really good job of realizing when there's pressure and just backing up a little bit, man. Give him space there, you can't hit when it's simply not there. Nice stun. Yeah, so this Groot only dies because of the Penny Parker Squirtles or stun right there. Otherwise, that Groot, that fat health pool, is going to be able to get out of the source of danger.
Yeah, nice ult here from Sue Storm there on the Google side, keeping everybody alive in the zone here. Now here comes Penny Parker, drop down some mines here, trying to create some havoc on this backline, push that Epic team away from the cart as fast as possible there, and got laid off in behind them, trying to put down some walls. Again, just delay and keeping that team away from the cart. Moon Knight will get one in response there, so Namor will go down there, but overall, nice little stall out here for a time. But now, as I say it, epic victory. Right back to looking for exactly that.
He just finished. He literally, like, you started a sentence after his ultimate finished, and he's at 61% already. We have a 1v1, and Pikmit's going to be able to take that one down. Kind of toss that immortality ability into it for just a second, but Epic is on an absolute roll of their own. And they're really going to be liking what's coming on the backside of this.
Yeah, I think that,
I mean, they just haven't had any stops.
Well, and now you see Ruben switching over to the Moon Knight in response here. They say, all right, like anything you can do, I'll copycat, because quite frankly, it's hard to beat him. You know, if you can't beat him, join him. And so
yeah,
you fight fire with fire sometimes, and let's see if that will be effective here. Obviously, Talo very comfortable on this Moon Knight. And will they find the effectiveness from Ruben here? Remains to be seen, but you see that already the ult economy taken up so quickly there on Ruben as well.
Taylor really needs to just cut to the right and drop this ultimate right now. They have every other ultimate up right now. Here it comes, nicely done. Goes right down the middle, to the right, it doesn't matter. Same effect, it is basically a full team wipe against Google's mightiest heroes. Are they gonna be able to get this in the backside as well? They do. Kildare with a little pull action. And this is last gas territory for Google's mightiest heroes, JT.
And now here comes the legendary from Star-Lord here. Pikmin trying to create some chaos here. Sue Storm also providing some backup, making sure they can't be seen around the cart, and they will push forward. 3 minutes and 21 seconds. That is a lot of time there. Excuse me, 2:54 there. So.
Yeah, so it reduces down to the base of 2 here for Google, given that they got a solid bit of it as well. I think that makes sense. Just there's no point in giving both teams, like, what you finish with 5 minutes, you're gonna give both teams 5 minutes. I think it just makes sense for the competitive rules. It'll still be based on just how far either team goes. That has not changed, folks. Taking a look at this, just briefly as far as bans here, I think probably the Protect for the Namor for the side of Google has probably been the biggest play thus far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like
I mean, obviously it's hard to say like, oh, it was a great ban. Like this hero would have done a whole lot, right? It's kind of hard to take the conversation that way.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, Leo, honestly, a good
30 seconds before your
Ice
attack.
Queen there,
Get
I
ready.
think, the Diamond Queen herself would have potentially changed this matchup there, but by banning her right off the bat there, really allows that group to kind of shine because her shield immediately gets negated there, and then you have to rely on either Doctor Strange or Groot for that, little bit of, shying away here, in this sort of team comp. Again, I think there's other options that you could have looked at there, but looking at how this map shaped up here, I would agree. Sue Storm's really been the key protect there, and then Moon Knight has just been Moon Knight.
Yeah. Well, Taylor also has more than the DPS on the other side. Total damage like combined between the two of them, absolutely insane. Taylor's also rocking 80% ultimate right now. Pretty crazy. Finds their counterpart and a great start to this one. Now here it comes, puts it on the back side, and this group will fall first with no support in the back.
And
Doctor
down
Strange
goes
goes
the Doctor
thereafter.
Strange as well.
Yep.
And yeah, absolutely, Taylor finding as many targets as quickly as possible here, not allowing that cart get any further than that corner, that choke point. So notorious here on Yggdrasil Path, and I think that it's one of those ones that's so strong if you can get a nice stand here, which right now Epic is doing just that. It's going to be up to Google to really try to push through it here on this little chicane if they're able to do so, maybe using that Doctor Strange right now to try to push them forward here. Groot, the team laid off here, trying to do what he can here, but now here comes the response from Ruben on Google's side there. That Moon Knight trying to get them forward here as we get the response from the Rocket on Epic, keeping everybody powered up here. And Sue Storm coming down as well, so everybody.
Finding something. Laid off will be back here shortly from the Swirls res. There it comes. That is a Doctor Strange finding every bit of value from a single ultimate. Barely even help necessary, and we're quickly down to 15 seconds. Ruben about spitting distance away from their ultimate. Now they do have this Doctor Strange ultimate and that Phoenix ultimate. They're going to have to use both to crack into this one and push into first point.
Yeah, that was a huge Eye of Agamotto there by Blue Crimson to get everybody there. Now I think we're going to see Squirrel's War coming in here. Not enough in time, though.
Wow.
And they will only get 56 meters, which is like 5 feet.
Including which side you're on.
Yeah, I think that's accurate there, JT. It really is not very far, though. Obviously, not to first point. And given that this is overtime, even if they get there, they're not going to be adding any extra time, and still would have been that overtime type situation. With 2.5 minutes, I believe we saw, right? Something like that, maybe even closer to 3. Might be just a quick hop, skip, and a jump away for another epic victory to their map 1 win.
I mean, for that though, you know exactly how far you need to go and exactly what you need to do. And I'm curious to see if Google chooses to, rely on a penny to try to, get those traps down early on here, or if they're just going to have to rely on just using those walls and the shielding of Squirrel's War to the greatest effect here. I think that's what they're going to end up doing there. Then, despite not using the sling ring to the greatest effect, being on defense here, but I think personally, if it was me, I probably would have gone not with to switch it over to. I completely forgot.
Oh, the Squirrel Girl? Or the
Yeah.
not the Squirrel Girl, sorry, the Penny. I mean, Squirrel Girl's really strong right now. I mean, you even see some Squirrel Girl bands in comp and whatnot, and especially if you're staring down the barrel of like a nasty hit scan or even a Hawkeye. Hawkeye's just been tearing up my games recently, and not in a good way, folks. Looking at this this Moon Knight up here in first, almost surprised they don't have the ultimate already. Yuck. Walls come up and a lot of damage and a lot of pressure. Tanks trying to get back with the rest. A great utilization of the wall right there and just kind of like using as much of that as they can. Both tanks should be up to full health, and they are now. Playing with the corner, there's still a lot of space given over to another epic victory.
Yeah, another Moon Knight ult here from Talio, as they are so close to that finish line there. So far, they and with the group down on Google's side there, they don't have a whole lot of frontline presence. Laid off switching over to Spider-Man to try to get there quickly, but now it's going to be the Sue Storm ult from Keldare in response to try to push him forward here and keep them alive right on the target here. And they will not have enough time to get back there. It will be Epic taking the first map.
Yeah, 4-3 victory right here, overtime. I mean, both teams absolutely killed on an offense, just to be perfectly honest. But it was the overtime situation that another Epic victory really came forth to put a stamp on this series so far across the one map that we have.
Yeah, and that's the thing about these maps, you know, like, offense is great, y'all, but it's only half the game. You know, you can ask any college football fan, you got to be good on defense to win games there. Defense wins championships, as is the old adage goes. But take a look here at these stats here. My goodness. Telio there, 47 limbs.
Insanity. 52k damage as well. Take any two players on the side of Google's Mightiest Heroes, add them together, and it's still more than that. It's still significantly more than that, right? What is that, like 40, 43, 44, something like that? Putting up almost a solid another 10k on top. But really, my eyes are also drawn to the 48% accuracy as well on Moon Knight. That is a crazy stat in and of itself. TTV laid off, block in 67k. There's a huge hat tip to that. Obviously, finished on the Spider-Man, played most of this over there on that Groot character, JT.
Yeah, and did a lot of blocking there for that damage there. But yeah, you see the difference there between Bargle and Telio there. That accuracy between, 48% versus 26%. Yeah. Huge differential there. So we'll see what Google decides to go with, as they now have it all in their hands in terms of what map to go and what game mode to go with as well there. Could they go Flashpoint? Could they go more of a just simple control map here? There's a lot to play for. Obviously, they're not going to do Convoy, but if it was you, where would you go?
Definitely take it to one of these control maps, like the kind of best of three, a King of the Hill control. I believe yes, it is technically known as control within Marvel Rivals. Excuse me. I definitely go over here just based on their comp. When they got more of this death ball kind of composition rolling, then it just seemed like it really worked much better for them. We're talking about the Groot, we're talking about the Doctor Strange, big forms of blocking damage, and also something that we saw in this as well, something that a lot of this is something that you have to pay attention to at higher levels of Marvel Rivals, and that is with one of these shield tanks, Mag. Mag obviously grew with his wood walls and whatnot, and the Doctor Strange. If you just go and especially if you go with like a mag bubble around you or something like that, either on yourself or the projected from a teammate, and you just go and put your wall up for about a second and a half or so in between their healers and their tanks. That is essentially like, to talk about Overwatch, right? That's essentially like an anti-healing for about a second and a half. That's essentially saying, like, denying all healing away from you. Okay, now just clean the bum up on the other side, right? And especially with how quickly Doctor Strange can put that shield up and block, especially some of the bigger, heavier healings that are going to be coming through here. You're talking about blocking line of sight for that on Warlocks. You're talking about blocking the Jeff shots, both forms of healing there. You're talking about blocking the not Moon Knight, the Cloak and Dagger shots, or Dagger Storm. You're talking about blocking Luna's stuff. She can't even connect with people to get her connection healing in there as well. Taking a look at this next map, though, FBI Tugboat is done rambling. We'll take a look at this next and see where these two teams go forth to do virtual battle. Hell's Heaven up here next for the Domination.
Yeah, and so Domination there, obviously a singular point there where you gotta kind of figure out, just getting that fur ball here. I think that does lend itself to, like you were saying, they like those fur ball kind of comps there. That does play in the hands of Google. We'll see if they choose any different types of bans here in this pick and ban phase there. If it was me, I have a few names on my list if I was going to try to pick on some bans.
Perhaps this is a situation of, can you ban Moon Knight 3 times? I don't think you can. But yes, there's no reason for them to pick any other character in that slot, right? I mean, yes, the Groot found a lot of value. Yes, their healers for the side of Epic found a whole lot of value. No, I don't think there's any reason to pick anything except that. No, they're gonna go Gambit first. Do you actually use your first protect on the Moon Knight, given what Telio just did?
Yes. I think so, 100%. Yes, I think that's
You asked a
that's
question, you get an
yes.
answer. That's why I like casting with you, JT. Simple as that.
Yeah, to me, it's exactly like don't try to get cute with it. Just
Yeah.
do what you know you're good at. I think if you protect that, you're gonna have a good time. If you got something that was working really well, it's hard to believe that it won't work well.
Yep.
Regardless, because they haven't shown you that they can find a way to stop you yet, and that is exactly what they do, protecting that Moon Knight.
Look, I know Gambit's great right now, and the skill ceiling is super high. I think he's still kind of being figured out on the more middle ends. Obviously, these are higher level competitions going on right now. These two teams not get here by mistake, but the combinations with all of his abilities. I mean, who else besides Moon Knight has more abilities than he does, than Gambit does? I'm not against the Gambit ban, that's what I'm saying, but Telio just showed you guys what they can do with the Moon Knight. Now, on the opposite side of that, playing against a Moon Knight is generally pretty easy, right? Especially because if your team is finding a lot of value with the Moon Knight, literally all of, even just 4 members, not even a full 6-person team, but all of 4 members have to do is literally just in comms like, hey, all right, whatever you're doing, in about a second and a half, focus the Moon Knight. And it's just that. His movement abilities, his evasion is not very fast, right?
Yeah, and not only that, he's also, dare I say, squishy. So, someone like a Black Widow could come in and snipe him.
It's a very good point. Very good point. We've seen a whole lot of Hawkeye in comp recently based on changes and stuff, but you could counter pick against him, but that's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter the combination of players. If you take 4 players on your squad, everybody's alive, right? Relatively even team fight, you're starting out. Okay, hey, the Moon Knight is up on this perch. Everybody in 1.5 seconds, shoot just half your mag, as much as you can out there. And at the absolute least, we're going to get them to pull all the way back and get back into LOS of one of their healers, which... just like my point earlier about putting walls up, right? Putting shields up in front of healers. That's basically just like taking them out of the fight for a couple of seconds. Like, if you can recreate that over and over again, then you almost don't need to even kill them. You just need to keep them not playing the game.
Yeah, and just to keep you guys abreast here of the picks and bans here, Namor's gone. But protected, we've got the Phoenix, we've got the Psylocke there, so that is one that I was also thinking of. Hey, that a Psylocke would be pretty good here to kind of help balance out that damage against a Moon Knight. But if they're wanting both a Moon Knight and a Psylocke there, and no magic and no Bucky, so very interesting on that regard there. What that I kind of wish that more teams would kind of lean into there would be the team ups, which I think we are going to get a little bit of Phoenix Force going on here with Wolverine here, so that's potential here for Google.
Ruben was playing on the Namor earlier, and we did see the Hela ban. Obviously, we won't be seeing a Hela ban or a Namor ban here, so speaking of team-ups, that's a really darn good one, JT.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that not every team, I think, relies on those team-ups as effectively as they should. And by that means, it's mostly the people that I'm playing with in casual, right? Because they just don't care about the team-ups. But I feel like that's what gives Marvel Rivals its edge as a game overall, is that, it's a unique mechanic here. And if you're not leaning into it there, I feel like you are kind of leaving a little bit of that cheddar on the table.
Yeah, leave a little meat on the bone there. Like, it's one of those things you have to investigate, especially because there's going to be a situation where counterpicks come in, and the ability for individuals to counterpick other characters sometimes increases exponentially once you just do something as simple as picking out their team up, right? Like, that is something that I really do feel like this game has over maybe some other squad-based first-person shooters. No names necessary, JT.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, CSGO doesn't have it.
Here they come now.
Fair.
Moving on,
I feel like that's a really good point. That's a line. That's a line right there. I love it.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're 100% right. 100% right. That's a quick exit here for TTV laid off. Now, maybe shift the conversation to this after this team fight here, but a quick take against Tello as well, getting way too aggressive. So that's kind of a situation of laid off getting super hyper aggressive, and Tello doing the same thing, and they both paid the same price.
Tail Toxin here. I'm not sure if Tail Toxin might actually been switched out from the last game here, so they've got a little bit of a changing of the guards here for Google as well. H Trio, I believe, also a little bit So a little bit of movement of the names there. Taco Beans, they're on the Angela this time. So both teams, I believe they've got a depth of roster going on here. So some names changes to be aware of here. Let's see if that makes any changes here to the gaming style here. We do get the ultimate from the amplifier from the rocket there on Air Cakes there on Google, as they are trying to find a way on to cap this point here. Finally, Epic will secure it here and start moving up their percentage there after Google had that early lead, as you see Blue Crimson and the Moon Knight trying to chase him off the point.
Pretty definitive back and forth so far. No one really taking over all of this. Are you liking this Angela pick? I mean, the kidnaps really have come through and provided value, but I just feel like it's very situational.
It is situational, I think. Yeah, it's definitely one where I understand, kind of like find those angles to try to, get in the, avoid the sight lines there. But it is something where, playing that way, she got the ult available to him there. But it does kind of prevent you from being in the thick of it there, which I feel like a tank is designed to do, to kind of absorb damage. But nevertheless, though, we are going to get Moonlight getting out here with the Khonshu, as you see another whole host of ults coming out here as everybody's getting on the point. First came now the Agamotto on both sides there, so getting one stun on Air Cakes there. That'll get taken out here.
Thank goodness.
Getting stunned. A lot of stuns coming out here. A lot of damage getting taken out. Epic coming out on top of this team fight.
Yeah, fantastic job. It looks like Epic can really get it done with any secondary DPS as well. Like Talio, obviously, the Moon Knight pick just makes sense. They found all the value in the world. Both eyes of Agamottos, right? You got a full pair of eyes here. And now a switch. Here comes the hell that we were talking about, JT. Don't be surprised if you see a Namor switch for Ruben or maybe Barkle in like a life or two.
Yeah, you see that Shang-Chi trying to get in there, the Iron Fist, trying to get in there, make sure that Angela is dealt with there, so he can get some cheaper townhomes for us. Nevertheless, though, H-Trio trying to keep everybody alive and dealing some good damage as well, switching over onto the cloak side instead of just being a simple dagger the entire time. And now here comes Ruben trying to push him off there, deplete that shield from the Doctor Strange. Does get the Invisible Woman there, and now try to take his focus onto the Moon Knight and gets taken out because of it.
A little bit of back and forth here, most of it going the way of Epic. They did lose Talio, which is a huge source of damage, but that's almost it. Trying to get involved is Pikmet. Now Talio switching on over to the Spider-Man, just try and get involved here earlier. A tank down, a healer down. This is not going well for Google.
Hell Unleashed here now from Scrollzor there, but there is no one on the point, and Epic will take Egypt Monument as we head over to the Frozen Airfield.
See if this Google team is able to take off from here, cold as it might be. Take one down here and maybe get a map back. But if you're Google's mightiest heroes, you got to be thinking about that upper finals. But the answer is you cannot be. It's what we always say, JT. Have that memory of a goldfish. Go forth, play the competition right in front of you. But meanwhile, we do have to pay attention to the numbers. We have a healer and we have a tank on the side of another Epic victory that did not die in the first map of these possible three.
Yeah, absolutely huge there. Hey Trio and Blue Crimson just staying alive, and that's what you love to see. Taco Bean seems to be very confident on this Angela, so maybe they just know something about the hero that we don't. Just because we don't play it as much, and so maybe that's just something where they are far more confident on there than your average tank player.
Yeah, Taco Bean's on the Captain America. This is sometimes more of a desperation pick, or like just to get back to point, right? Or it's one of those things that you're just going super heavy dive, which neither of these teams have utilized at all. I mean, up to this point. Well, I guess the Angela so, but there was no dive support after that. It was just the ability to project bubbles and whatnot. On here with the Iron Fist, that's an early dedication of the Invisible Woman ultimate against this Psylocke ult. So a fantastic job and a nice counter to make sure that got a 0 value.
Yeah, now here comes Iron Fist trying to put some damage down. Had to quickly get the cloak to disappear for a moment there to get out of the way of his fists of fury here. But here comes the side of Google, and they're doing a pretty good job here. They've gotten onto the point there and pushed Epic away now as they do get a measure of revenge. Ruben goes down for that, but not before they start ticking up this point here. A really good push by Google, and so Taco Beans with this Captain America. You call it a desperation pick there. I find it definitely has, he's got some meaty fists there, and maybe that's just something where, that is just Taco Beans playstyle. Just like, hey, I want to get in your face and then peel off. Get in your face, peel off.
I mean, it's not a bad move, and obviously he's been buffed a little bit to make them a little bit more sustainable, right? But at the end of the day, just badgering backlines, I'm not sure is going to be enough against a squad when they just don't have a whole lot of like longer range poke outside of Atelier, right? I think that's only going to find their value up close and personal, and with their ultimate, of course. Early one, Bargle, see you later. No ultimate available for you, my friend. That's all. The only bit of value really found from this initial. Here comes the Eye of Agamotto. That's going to be plenty for Google to come roaring back at this one. Still fighting a little bit, but not going to be enough. Taco Beans does go down, and Google continues their run here on Frozen.
Honestly, huge by the Luna Snow there to pop her ult during that Eye of Agamotto from Epic, as that one really helped keep everybody alive in that team fight there while they were stunned here. Now we're getting Blue Crimson switching over on to what else? Hey, here's the thing. So we will see if they can clobber this Wolverine to pieces, as we get a lot of people. That's the thing I love about Marvel Rivals. You just get in the face. They're like, 4 KO here. My goodness, Blue Crimson is on a heater.
Nicely done. This is exactly what the doctor ordered, JT. This thing is going to be able to blast through any kind of shields for this Doctor Strange. As you see here, you'll be able to jump onto this Moon Knight. You'll be able to interrupt the back lines as well. And you're really not going to have to worry about too much CC, given that he is invulnerable to it. Obviously can be stunned.
Yeah, like the thing, really a great, solid, just big meat shield with a lot of. Listen, those fists are made of solid rock. If you don't think that getting hit in the face with rock hurts, try it. You'll find out.
The definition of that FAFO that them kids been talking about. But hey, both Moon Knights finding an early pick here. Squirrel Zor, the Hella going to be eliminated, but a tank down for the side of Epic. Tells me that's a little bit more important. 95 on the other side, though, so Google has like plenty to play with, and Laid Off just gets absolutely free pick onto the healer in the backline, question mark?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised at this one. You got to peel for your healers, and that's like a definition. Like look it up, look at the YouTube video or whatever. That is the definition of a situation where Strange is obviously pushing. You got to peel. What?
Yeah, and it's one thing that I've noticed too with Google is that they only have the one tank hero out there with Strange. They've gone with 3 DPS and the 2 healers there, so not exactly a goat's meta there, which I think would be possible with a Gambit in play here. But with that being the ban, it is up to this lone Laid Off being the sole healer and the sole damage. And now that Eye of Agamotto, beautiful into the Psylocke ult there. Doesn't get anybody with there, as you get air cakes, keeping everyone alive on the point.
Yeah, the healing core here for Google has their work cut out for them. Here comes the burst healing, burst damage, enough against the Ruben. Here comes another Eye, and that's going to find one, but the Hella from on top is absolutely head hunting. This is something else that you just can't ignore. Man, oh man, that's 2 plays in a row here. There's another epic victory. It's just really just a minor. I mean, it's a minor misplay. Just kind of losing track of a tank on the other side, losing track of a Hella on top. But these are absolutely insurmountable mistakes, especially when you're looking at full-on counter picks on the other side, like Ruben against Thing there.
Yeah, that was a great. That's the thing that I love about Wolverine is he just absolutely melts tanks there, but does get taken out. well, excuse me. Now we have Talo switching over to it there, and he gets taken out as well as Hella's able to take care of him. Squirrels are having success on this Hella right now and doing a really good job, but now we are at 99%, so they are trying to cap it. Finally get the cap there as they are now going to force overtime. Can they get map number 2 here? As the thing staying alive here, Blue Crimson rushing in there, trying to knock up, and does get the knock up on the Sioux Swarm there. She's keeping everybody alive. Angela takes her out there, and now Taco Beans, can she clean up for the team there and find a way to retake this point? It's up to Talio now in this final few moments, trying to out Wolverine the other Wolverine there, but will get taken out instead. And looks like Google takes us to the 3rd round.
Yeah, look, our first round was 4-3. I'd have been kind of surprised if this was just an absolute sweep of Google's Mightiest Heroes here in game number 2. They did exactly what we were talking about, and that's just play the Marvel Rifles game in front of them, man. Just go forth, do the darn thing, and not assume any outcomes before they're actually done for. That's the way I'm looking at it. Taking a look at ultimates that are available as of right now. Ruben obviously invested theirs the back end of map number 2. Tried to flip that one, not going to happen. They're going to be the only one who's not basically glowing as of right now. Hey, Trio, the Rocket, here for another epic victory. It's going to be the only one with ultimate coming into this. Pikmin not too far away, though.
Yeah, this is a really good start here for Google. About, as good a start as you can hope for, I think, going into this one here, whereas you might have 2 ults, possibly 3 going in for Epic, assuming, if one of them can kind of increase there. But I don't see it, none of these heroes on Epic's side really build ult too quickly compared that aren't almost already there.
Yeah, and you just kind of, that's a little bit of a point. You just have to take what's given to you, right?
Yeah, and now we see right now with Scrollzor waiting for the opportunity to give Hell Unleashed. They've got 10 seconds until this map, unlocks here. So I feel like, doing the smart thing, not allowing yourself to really get into the thick of it just yet. There already ultimate. It's getting popped though. Excuse me, everybody going in there. It's an ultimate fiesta, and Silent goes down. Pikmin goes down there as Eye of Agamotto comes out as well, stunning out the Epic team there. And it looks like it's going to be Google taking the point early.
Yeah, the great utilization. At some point, they had to realize that this other squad just had way more ultimates, right? But outside, of course, of the Hello Ultimate, Google invested everything into that. We'll have the Epic squad coming back a lot closer to full team ultimates for this next team fight, and that's really, really where the rubber's going to meet the road.
Yeah, Talio now on the Iron Fist here, trying to find ways to get to that back line there. Iron Fist getting a little hampered because, hey, doesn't have any projectiles to really get to that Hello right now, who's doing a really good job of blocking him off. They've got so much coming out here, and Ruben using that Jeff, just kind of making sure that spray and pray type of healing there, spraying everybody, keeping them up and around, doing a really good job keeping them alive. Now here comes this Angela. Will she find the kidnap on somebody here? Maybe. You will see, but now Jeff.
Nice.
Wow, what a counter there by that Magneto.
A perfect timing as well. I gotta appreciate the mag when they work. Great stuff. Yeah, this Strange is gonna feel the fire just from stepping out right there, and it's gonna be that's about as bad as a circumstance you can get, right? You put out this you put out your portal, right? Oh, nope, it's gonna get even worse if they because they just have healing up right here. So now Google has wasted 2 ultimates in the same pursuit. And even more as they're going to fall to the Angela tether. This Jeff is going to have their work cut out for them just getting out. They will not. Full team wipe basically for the side of another epic victory.
And staggered the healer as well, so it's going to take them a little bit longer, a little bit more time to tick up the percentage on the point for Epic here. And they are looking very strong here after that rally. But just like that, they are now without any ults to speak of. Keldar probably be the first one to come up with one here, followed by Blue Crimson if things still flow here. Laid off, has the Eye of Agamotto, will use it, gets 3 stuns out of it there, and 2 immediately go down.
That's just a little bit too late on the Invisible Woman, but it gets there in just the nick of time. Jeff ult out, bubble there, so this mag won't get caught by it, but they will get the Invisible Woman. out for it, and she can't jump in time. Kills there, down. Google has won this team fight.
Yeah, really nice job there by Jeff, taking out the Invisible Woman Keldair, as Blue Crimson has an ult available, as does Air Cake, so potentially a way to counter that there with the healing from the Luna Snow here, as it is Google still on the point. They're still pushing now 85% of the way there here on this third point of map 2.
A lot of damage going to be available for Bargle in a second if they're able to get to it. Here comes Luna Snow ultimate to try and hold. They are going to have Rocket. Yep, there's the support. That should be able to keep Tylo and the rest of this squad here for Epic alive as we push now into overtime. And more invisibility, Invisible Woman ultimate out, immediately answering. It's a great job answering. Picnic finds nothing. Here comes Bargle though. They find 2. Google putting a great foot forward onto this one. 99. You only have a couple of players left. Here comes another Immortality Field. Great time, could not have come at a better time. Eyes of Agamotto out. That'll be enough damage against this mag without support, and it is. Google takes it down and snatches back map number 2.
And with that, we'll secure map number 2 in this best of 7, which means what? We guarantee you we'll have a map number 5.
Yes, there will not be a sweep throughout the entire bracket, folks. I know you guys are thinking the same thing as me. You look across these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other matches across this bracket, all 3 zeros. No, keep those brooms in the closet. There will not be a sweep today.
Looking at that damage report there, laid off once again, taking out everyone that they can see. Look at the damage though put out. The Scrolls Orb did a really good job over there as well, but then total damage there, it's got to be Talio.
Any surprise there? Any surprise that this player is going to be able to find damage no matter which character they do play? It was, of course, DPS last game, excuse me, on the Moon Knight. Going to be the Strange here, and they found a lot. They found a lot of value, whole lot of value with those ultimates as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing that surprises me is that they, to respond to the triple support, they went triple tank there. So I think that's a very interesting support, tank combo there. Regardless, though, I think this is going to be a very, fun way to kind of figure out what's going to happen here as we head eventually into game number 3.
Yep, so it'll be game number 3. Just to remind you guys of the format before we go to a very short break. Loser will be picking the map. Winner picks the side. Standard stuff right there. FBI Tugboat, my boy JT Display is back with you here for the CEA Marvel Rivals Fall 2025 Finals presented by Amazon Luna in just a little bit. Don't tune away.
And we're back, folks, with more Model Rivals action as we're about to get into game number 3 between our grand finalists here. Another epic victory. And Google's mightiest heroes, JT Displays, alongside FBI Tugboat, as we are about to show to you folks what that third map is about to be.
Absolutely. So, standard format, in case you're just rejoining, or in case you're just joining us, or now you're rejoining us after the break here. Winner picks the side after the loser picks the map. Obviously, we will not be repeating maps, and it will only repeat game modes if we get down to that 6th map. At this point, that's looking maybe a little more possible, right? Well, again, just to set the stage here, folks. This is a rematch of the upper brackets, the winners bracket final. I said that right, JT, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It was a 3-0 sweep as well, so not particularly close, and that did go the way of the number 1 seed, another epic victory. Google's mightiest heroes showing what grand finals performances are made out of, though. Taking this one back in map number 2, that was Hell's Heaven. They took that one back 2-1 overall in the best of 3 format right there, JT. And honestly, that third map wasn't particularly close.
No, they've really found a good groove there with that style of map here. So I think that it's something that they may be, that they like those kind of maps here. But moving into map number 3, it is now up to another epic victory. And they will go with the Convergence style map there from Hall of Jalia there. The Convergence style, another way of saying, hey, you capture the point and then you escort that to your final destination.
What else could another game call that? No, it doesn't matter.
I
No,
think
yes, you
Convergence is
open
the
up
best way to call
point.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I think convergence is definitely the most concise way to describe that, JT.
Makes the most sense.
Oh, we're having a blast here on the desk, man. So yeah, just like JT said, though, if in case you're unfamiliar, open up a point and then move a payload, if you will. Let's get on into these pick bands. Are we gonna see the? Oh, never mind. You ask a question.
Consistent.
Barely even get it out, JT. You get an answer. Gambit no longer displayed here for the side of another epic victory.
Yeah, Kildare, they're feeling a little left out. They're hoping maybe some Gambit on Magneto crimes against Google. Instead, they are going to choose no Hellas, and what will they going to protect here? That is going to be the big question. If I was them, honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised to go another Moon Knight, but instead, they choose to protect the Winter Soldier there, Bucky coming out here for sure this game. That's what you lead to believe there. And Telio already might be the one to sit on top of that there. Meanwhile, we are going to get the protection for the Winter Queen herself. Finally get one of my favorite tanks in the game.
Limit Frost. I'm with it. There you go. There's the Moon Knight band. I was wondering if we were going to see it. Now, so they protect the Bucky. Honestly, here on Halls of T'Challa, I think this kind of makes sense, even if it's just a first point hold, right? Like for the offense. And so obviously they flash it here early, knowing that they were going to want to play that on the next game mode, because obviously another epic victory is going to be on defense first. But I mean, yeah, Bucky is just able to tear up this first point. There's three different places that he can get up to and then jump down from, pull people up there if need to, pull people off of a back line. There's a lot that a Bucky can do on point 1 on offensive Halls of T'Challa.
Yeah, and I think that being able to utilize the Rocket Raccoon as well, being able to boost that is going to be beneficial for that choose. Now, getting rid of the Phoenix in response, how will Google choose this? They will protect the Groot there. I expect Delayed Off might be the one, looking for that there. And then these final bans, it's going to be coming down to, I mean, like, I think it'd be funny to ban a Penny Parker, to be honest. That'd be the best way to say, hey, try to stop us from capping that point. Speaking
there
of
it
existence.
is. Yeah, exactly, JT. Well done. Gonna be the magic ban again. This has been targeted every single time by another epic victory. There's the Hella ban and the Phoenix, so that's more of like a reaction type thing, right? But the magic has pretty much always been there before another Epic victory is banned. So I'm wondering who like the magic main here for Google is. Something tells me probably Bargle, just given the amount of flexing that they've done right here, right? A lot of times when you see a player flexing a whole lot, it's because their main, like the character they may have been selecting, been planning to play, did get banned, right? So the logic would follow there.
Yeah, and I think that we'll see how they come out with this comp here, Google. Right now it looks like we might have some Punisher action there, which would be the first time, I believe, in this matchup tonight between these two teams that we've seen a Punisher on display.
Yeah, Hawkeye as well. If Deadlock sucks and goes forth and does this all the way through. I gotta say, Deadlock, I really try to get into. It's kind of built to me as like a third-person, like Overwatch, League of Legends kind of mix, right? Or like maybe like closer to Dota or whatever. I played a little bit. Nothing about that game felt like Overwatch.
4, 3.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. It felt more like a, like the
like
buying
this,
system
honestly,
of League of
but
Legends
like-
meets.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. The buying system and all the math and all the stuff that you have to learn here early, like for that. But hey, regardless, we're playing Marvel Rivals, not Deadlock. Regardless of maybe one player on another Epic Victory's opinion of that particular game. That is a very, very early pick. 2 of them now against Google and Google's mightiest heroes. So maybe a little bit of value early for the defense. Deadlock sucks, and this Hawkeye really, really paying off.
Yeah, and then you take off the Doctor Strange, and then you see TTV laid off there, deciding to go on to the tried and true Groot to try to push the classic way to get onto the point here. And so that is going to be something that I think that was purely just the value of that sling ring. And then, hey, onto the Groot there for the rest of the game there as they go the conventional route down Route 1 here to start this off here. But this Bucky doing a really good job. Taylor almost at ult status here, as his Deadlock sucks here. He's already got the ult ready there from that Hawkeye. So the DPS for Epic doing a really good job right now, finding their targets and being accurate with those shots.
Great sustain so far, and pretty much everybody on the side of Epic's going to have their ultimate here soon. Here comes the Bucky. Telio finding a lot. That's a bunch of anti-healing on the back. Tries to snag one in there. Not going to happen. Here comes the Hawkeye ultimate, and now all shall fall before this. Deadlock sucks. The only player eliminated, JT. They're going to be immediately brought back by the Rocket Res.
Yeah, even that brief Namor ult there, which knocked him down, wasn't enough after you had 3 ults coming in there from the Emma Frost as well as the Sue Storm and the Hawkeye. So a lot of ults came down all at once. Epic just overwhelming the defenses from Google here. And now it is another long walk to try to get to that point here as the time is going to tick down here. Under 2 minutes to go here, so less than half of the time remaining to try to cap that point.
Emma Frost Snugs right now has been absolutely popping off. I mean, this is chip damage early. This is finishing eliminations late. This is finding staggers just like that one. To be fair, Squirtles kind of gave this one up. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an ult and switch for this Punisher player. Bargle also staggered. This is another mistake that Google's mightiest heroes, has been making consistently in this game number 3.
Needed that boost.
Yeah, so this is definitely something where I think Epic, chose the, Halls of Jalia there for a good reason there, being a really good job, able to kind of defend this point here. Now, you see Ruben on the Daredevil here, can be absolutely a menace to backlines if he finds a good angle here, but it's very much a champion that prefers to work alone a little bit there with that kit, so can be caught off guard if he's not careful. Now you get 3 ults coming out here from the side of Goop. It's the Emma Frost, it is the Punisher, and now we're going to see what happens as after the Groot ult there. Nice big hits there, but gets taken out here. Spawn trying to get in there as Epic may let this go, and it looks like Google will finally get this point cap.
Yeah, so 23 seconds left or so. That's all they'll really be able to take into this next. But here comes the portal. We knew it was coming. There's a couple ultimates on line. Here comes the Hawkeye. Here comes the Rocket Raccoon. And there goes 3 of Google's mightiest heroes immediately. A single pick again, so that is a large source of damage, but a complete team wipe against Google. Another epic victory is held up to 98% of first point on Halls of T'Challa.
And here's the thing, right? Absolutely smashed them.
Which side you're on. You'll need a top-notch team to
It really,
win
really
this
did,
one.
JT. That was a fantastic way of bringing in the portal and just playing it to a T. That they drop down and they don't just all immediately split, right? They drop, and as soon as that happens, everybody knows there's cooldowns are going to be coming at you. There maybe even ultimates as well, right? But it's just about sustaining for about that second and a half after you get out of the strange portal to really make sure that your squad is going to be able to stay alive all the way through. If not, then it's evaluation time of who did get eliminated upon drop.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a fun selection here to see what they go with on defense here. You see right now, we got the group, we got the Emma Frost, you've got the Punisher there
30 seconds
with the
before you
with the
attack.
triple
Get
support
ready.
as well. So again, another one of those moments there where we're going triple tank
And
on
I
the
can
side
read
of
your
Epic
thoughts.
as well, which
No need
I
to
expect
keep our
will swap off
conversation so
that
basic.
Blue Crimson's likely going to swap off that Doctor Strange after they portal in.
Oh, I just flipped that back on over to this one. Hot Sauce, appreciate you, buddy. Absolute GOAT. Everybody watching this, go follow this guy because he's a fantastic caster.
Absolutely cannot agree with you more there. Fantastic human being overall. Not just a caster, just a great human being. But
I wouldn't
we're
go
about
that far. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Whoa, hey, whoa. Toxic. In the house. All right, but we are about to get underway as these two teams set up for the first engage here. And what a nice little turret to come in and say hello from the sky as Telio is looking to put down as much damage as possible and rain from above. But now it is laid off, getting in the mix of things here as they try to defend against this onslaught from Epic. Snugs, though, not having any of their quickly getting in there, trying to take things out there. They do lose Talio in response there, as it's gonna be Tail Toxie for Google going down. So it's a nice little trade here, but Google standing firm early on to go into this one.
Look at all these walls. It's like he's trying to get to the end of a corn maze and get a prize at the backside. That's so funny. Hey, anybody who says this game can't be funny hasn't played enough.
I agree with that. There's always rooms for memes. I mean, just look at some of the skins that have been released for all sorts of characters, not just the Punisher.
It's fair. It's fair. A target market, that's all I'll say there. Here comes the Emma ultimate. That's immediately answered by the Rocket Raccoon. She does find a couple of those, but with the sustained healing and the bonus health, that's going to be plenty for them. And it was almost the Emma here taking down Snugs, almost gets out. There's a fat one. Epic finds it all. The res even afterwards for a little bit of extra on top. And no Jeff ultimate for you, my friend. Epic will be taking this game number 3 at Halls of T'Challa.
Yeah, and it felt very quick for them. It felt, I don't want to say easy, but it felt like efficiency was the name of the game for them there, as they are able to secure this round here. All you need is 1 point if your opponent's got 0. So a little bit of a soccer scoring situation in the third map, but that means it is now in the hands of Google, as they are now down 2-1 as we take a look at this at the standings right now.
Yeah, so just taking a brief look at the numbers here. Obviously, a couple stand out. Only one elimination against Blue Crimson. Healer on the team over there, Hey Trio on the Rocket, did the same kind of thing. 17k healing for Eric Akes. Not 100% sure how to say that one. Sorry, 17k right there. And even with them dying on the Rocket 3 times, that's even more impressive to me.
Yeah, and I think that the Rocket was, clutch overall for Epic there, just keeping everybody boosted there and, really helping benefits, some of those more aggressive plays that we started to see from them there. Just being able to find those different angles. So I think it's going to be up to Google here, trying to find, if I was them, if they can try to find another convergence map there. Maybe they can. Maybe that's not necessarily where they want to go. Maybe they'll look for something that's a little bit more domination style again.
Yeah, I mean that's where they found value here. Good news about a loss, if you're a Google's Minus Hero fan, is that this is a best of 7, right? Extended series here for the grand finals. Best of 5s were left in the previous part of this bracket, so they'll have a little bit more wiggle room. JT.
Yeah, and I think that what's interesting with this as well is that, when you take a look at the picks and bans there again, just reserving that very first ban for Gambit every single time. It's either that they got, that they just know that there's somebody on that other side that has been mainlining Gambit since he came out, or it's just something where they just don't necessarily want that, that extra, boost that he can provide there. Because, like I said, I feel like with Gambit in play, you do get the opportunity to you can kind of go the old Goats meta from the very first Overwatch, that kind of just ran havoc there, and I think that's where they kind of respect him in that regard there, that he can provide that sort of flexibility. As a hero there, and just how wide his pool is there. But again, it is something where we're not in comms. We have no idea what the rationale is behind the picks and bans. We can only assume it there. But we do have
Theorycraft.
Map 4. Yeah, Theorycraft, exactly. Thank you.
Theorycraft. I learned that term like 2 years ago. Absolutely been in love with it since. Burden T'Challa coming up here next. After this one goes 2-1, as JT mentioned. Opponent puts up 0. All you got to do is put up a 1. Domination, back to it. We can't be surprised at all that we go back to the game mode that they found value in the first time, right?
Not at all. I think that's the smart move for them, the way that they've been playing here. And I think that, Burn T'Challa there, it's going to give them the sort of consistency that they've been looking for this entire time, as does look like they are going to immediately insta-lock that Gambit pick there. So again, I'm beginning to think that this is more of an issue where, maybe they're scared of Blue Crimson there on the Gambit more than anything else. Or Keldar.
Yeah, between the two characters, not 100% sure, but yeah, I have to imagine that that's the case. Again, the payoff and the skill ceiling for this character for Gambit is very, very high. Like, very, very, very high, right? So I can't really be surprised when they try and take it out every single time before the initial, protect phase comes in. This could also entirely be an issue where there's two different characters for the side of another epic victory that are very, very comfortable on it. So even if it doesn't work for one, then the other one can play it.
And just to give you guys the picks and bans so far, we've got Hela gone, we've got Gambit gone, protecting the Bucky, protecting the Emma Frost, getting rid of the Star-Lord, protecting the Magic this time though, as they get rid of the Phoenix and protect the Psylocke for Epic. And then these final couple bans here, you gotta think it's probably a tank, right?
Given that these tanks for the side of another epic victory, they've been finding value on different tanks, right? So which one do you go with? Is it really the Captain America? That one I'm kind of surprised about, JT. I'm not gonna lie.
It may have just been something where they saw that Captain America and they didn't like dealing against him there, that last domination map there. So that may just be, recency bias of like, oh, that was unfun playing against that. We weren't expecting that. So let's just play against what we expect to play against, and that may be what it's playing into. Is just like, hey, we don't have as much experience playing against him there because nobody likes to play him that we've played against. So I think that may be where that ban's coming in. Is like, okay, they're comfortable in the Captain America. Let's kind of reduce that hero pool and see what force them onto something else.
I hear you. Like, force them to be uncomfortable, right? Force them into picks that they may not have anticipated coming into this, either for this matchup or specifically for this map here for Burn T'Challa. So, taking a look at what we have on board right now, we have seen a thing before here for another epic victor. We have seen the Psylocke here for another epic victory before. Nothing really super. No, excuse me. You mentioned it, the Magic. I must not have been paying attention here, JT. I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah, my girl Magic, she doesn't show up very often, but you got the Hatsune Miku skin, and that means instant win, in my opinion. But, you know, we'll see if that's going to be the case here for Google. Clearly, you know, they've got a little bit of luck on their side, or at least internet memes on their side, one way or the other. They are ready to jump into this, and look at that Magic just jumping off, getting some great movement ability, and that's one thing I love about her kid is just how she's able to quickly, you know, make a lot of movement go her way.
A lot of movement and a lot of value early. Here it comes. Yeah, that side wants no part of this one. Now trying to get some chip-in damage from a distance. Bonus health is now done. This is incredibly... Yeah, I was going to say that they're finally taking the L for a really bad decision. Fortunately, Pikmin will get bailed out by this. Rocket Res coming in. Another epic victory. Will not see another one of those for about 35 seconds, JT.
Yeah, now here's the thing. Looking for some clobbering of faces. It's going to find some damage. Oh, this Druid's about to get taken out. Does get taken out there. Calendar called him up there, but Gambit doing a really good job. Another KO here. This Bucky from Talio getting close to finding ultimate status available for him there. 87% right now and still ticking up there. One thing I found very interesting while we have a moment with Epic on the point here, Bucky, with the way that they balanced him this time, giving him fewer shots in his gun there, which, like, I don't know how many revolvers you have experience with, but very few of them only have 3 shots.
Yes, they have 3. That'd be a very interesting weapon indeed, and not really true of the revolver name, right? Like they think you got like the whole 6-gun type Western mentality that's kind of been established there, folks. So, what do I know though? Here comes the Bucky Ultimate. Speaking, we shall appear. Little Bucky versus Punisher action. We all know this theme. Here it comes. That's a second one. That's a lot of players in the back. Here comes the Psylocke Ultimate as well, tearing up the back line of Google's mightiest hero.
Yeah, now that Druid is in danger of getting knocked out and laid out. Now he's laid off to the respawn point, as this is Epic's job to defend this point, and they're doing a phenomenal job of it, as they have cleared the room and send everybody back to spawn with only 1 ult on either side for the next engagement.
I'll tell you which one wins between a Taco Beans Maggled and a Squirrel Zor Punisher Ultimate, man. This is one of the easiest ones in the game to counter for Mag, so they pull this one out with no wall, no Mag bubble, no nothing. It'll be a quick, what is it, long walk off a short pier, is that what people say?
Something like that, for sure, with 95% on the percentage here. The ult has to be popped there. Now you will get the response from the Mag, and goodbye, Punisher, as Namor will find the spear to get a brief response here, but instead, it's going to be an opportunity here.
Nice wall.
Bartle, though, trying to get something going here for Google. They got to get on the point, though, as they're trying to find everything they can, but Epic doing what they do, keeping them off balance. Fantastic
job. I'm so shout out to our observer again there. This is a perfect angle, and that's exactly what we needed to see on this team fight, which was essentially just drawing a line in the sand. Epic did, and not really allowing them to cross that on the backside. Right? They give up all the they give up yardage that just doesn't matter, JT, because they have a tank with a toe on point. Doesn't matter if you have all 6 players there. Doesn't matter if you have 1 player. It's still neutraled out, right? Your Google's Minus Heroes is not going to be able to take percentage points over that, and it's just taking away. Every single second they do that is advantage. Another epic victory. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, that is a really smart play there, and I think that's fair. You know, when you only have like with football, when you have 50 yards to get, you know, or however many yards you need to get to the goal line there, you know, your defense can give up 49 of those yards there. They just can't give up that last one that goes into the end zone. So it's the same thing here. Just don't allow them to touch the point very often, and they're gonna have a hard time challenging your supremacy in that regard there. For Google, though, I think this is going to be an opportunity for Bargle. Needs to show something here. No eliminations on the Emma Frost there, who can be absolutely deadly. So I think that Bargle, I don't like, pointing out and calling out anybody in particular very often, but that one was glaring to me when looking at those stats.
Yeah. I mean, you can't afford to be putting up a goose egg. No, this is not an elimination match. Yes, if you drop this, then you'll be on elimination point against a team that was already 3-0'd you in the upper brackets. Now, Squirrel Girl invested. Honestly, I love this. I despise playing against this character with every fiber of my being, but this could be exactly what the doctor ordered here for Google's Mightiest Heroes. Stun attempt. There comes the Brute as well, and they force this out. Kale dares. So a great job, both from Epic on the damage and both from the immediate answer from Kildare on this Immortality field. It's going to be Taylio finding a lot once again on the Bucky, and this Immortality, and this Invisible Woman, excuse me, can find nothing. Do they get it? Another one. In fact, you could phrase that as again.
Oh, baby, a triple. Maybe. Incredible by that Bucky. Just absolutely rolling face right there as Google had to make a swift retreat there. I saw Squirrels War got that ult, was wise to hold on to it there. And as they got deleted and waiting for the entire team to get grouped up here, now is an opportunity. We got one ult on the side of Epic, but they're still ticking down 33% of the way there, a third of the way to a victory on this map. Now the Squirrel Stampede gets taken out quickly there. They focus down those squirtly friends there, and they have to go back to hibernation here. Now it's up to Google trying to no way in. They're going to use the Eye of Khonshu here to say hello and try to push forward to the point. But again, really good job here by Epic, just knowing where that damage is, just staying on the outskirts of it there. They've got a lot of hope right now that's keeping Google at bay.
Armed and dangerous. Did you say hello?
I said hello.
No, I like the hello thing. I was just messing with you, JT. That's going to be DDP laid off here. Now with the ultimate, and that's glowing, they're going to have, well, just healing abilities on the other side, right? So it's not going to be like a whole lot really there until you get Ruben up to this one. On the opposite side of this, from another Epic victory, if you take out this Moon Knight here earlier, there's not going to be a whole lot of value. Any damage ultimate will find, even paired with any tanks that you got. Here comes the Rocket ultimate, perfectly timed. Another Google's Mightiest Heroes rolling on in as they take a quartet of picks.
Yeah, that should be enough to take it, and that will cap the point in their side, and then we'll start ticking it up here. But 94% of the way to go. Oh, man, that is a big lead there for Epic. They just need to win one more team fight, and they may be able to secure this one here for Google there. I feel like they have to defend it from now until the end of this game. As see Blue Crimson here on the thing, still holding on to that ult, but now we get the kneeling peasants from Bargle here as Google tries to get some value there. Is not able to drag anybody into a death ball with that though, so loses out on that value. Big stun there as the thing came in there and smashed the back line. Now here comes the mag ult. Will he find anybody? Drops it in, gets a KO.
Fantastic! I thought this was going to be timed out on the backside. I was like, buddy, you got to use your left control. You got to go a little bit lower on that one. No, he knew the game plan from square one. 52 plus here for Google, despite the fantastic pick from Taco Beans.
And now the Squirrel Stampede finding some angles to bounce around there, trying to keep him off the point there, as Google stayed maintaining control of the point through that team fight. Really good awareness by them, being able to find the angles to keep themselves alive here throughout here. Now we do get another ult from the Rocket as he waiting for one more coming up here from the Groot. Laid off, has it available, gonna hold on to it. There's tries to push this thing away from that point. There's been absolutely causing so much chaos there, but finally Blue Crimson going down there, and that might be enough to keep the sustain going here. And Magic getting taken out. Now that could change the tide of things.
That really could, but the res comes in immediately. The Rocket Raccoon has got him here. Taylio come in, trying to find an early pick, and finds nothing except a magic sword. Straight to the face. Can't say that's going to feel too good, and nobody touches for another epic victory. Interesting. Our domination number 2 shaping up so far exactly like our first one.
It really is. Yeah, I was just thinking that myself. Like, huh, Google gets punched in the face there quite a lot in round one of that. In round two, they come back swinging, and then in round three, this is where history can be changed or repeated here. This is a good opportunity. Look at we got two ults about to come up here on the side of Google's mightiest
30
heroes.
seconds
Meanwhile,
before
for
you attack.
another epic
Get
victory,
ready.
we might get two as well, and including that Psylocke ult for that first engagement.
See how this goes here. As you said, only real ultimate available as of right now is that Groot ultimate. Pikmin will be there by the time they really reach into this open area. But if I gotta say, JT, if you're Google's mightiest heroes, this feels like a do or die type situation, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely one where they have to win this map here to really solidify that they are a domination team. They're here to do just that, dominate on those types of maps here. So again, they pick these maps because they feel like they are good at them here. It's up to Epic now to really show that they can compete on this level here and show and prove to us that do you guys really want to go to game 6, game 7 potentially here, or do you want to try to get this done quickly? And it's going to be up to them to find it here. Now Sue Storm coming in with that early ult to keep everybody alive as the point starts to get unlocked here. Nice hit there from the Magic, taking him out there, but Heavy Trio able to resurrect Blue Crimson that time. Now on Mr. Storm. Now a double kill here for this Bucky as a huge Talio damage coming out here to take the point for epic victory.
You're welcome.
Okay, this feels good.
On board with Google though, as they look to try to find opportunities for them. Group here working, create these walls, find some space for his team to kind of push into that danger zone here. Taco Beans there with Mag though. He's got an ult ready, waiting to find them all grouped up. Will he hit it? Not able to get it. There's Sue Storm's ult, able to prevent the damage from taking off there, but really strong Magic now in her ultimate form. Dark Child trying to get him off the point.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if this Emma Frost ultimate was necessary. Like the Rocket Raccoon, 100%. That's literally why this character lived through the bag ultimate, like just that extra little bit right there. But 43% is not a bad chunk. This is not the situation that Google's mightiest heroes found themselves in at the end of game number 1, where it just ended up being just an insurmountable lead. What, 95 I believe it was on one side, and about like this right here, like 16. Which means, of course, like you'd mentioned at the time, that that's basically just one fight territory.
Yeah, now they've got the point taken here, so this is an opportunity. Google, they're going to be feeling very comfortable right now, taking them out. Finally, the Squirrels get the Punisher, and now Squirrelzor on the Squirrel Girl, doing what the name says, being squirrely, and finding those nuts to
Executioner!
Up here it comes. This will be able to burst through this healing ultimate on the other side if he can find it, but they're just not getting there. There's finally 2 of them as Pikmin continues finding value on all kinds of DPS characters, JT.
Yeah, Pikmin's doing a really good job there, but Telio, I'm kind of surprised, has been found himself, in the crosshairs a lot more from Google in this round, and maybe they're just finding ways to focus him in these team fights and getting their damage more focused on that DPS player, which to me sounds like they're learning.
I have to agree with you. Talio just absolutely tore him up in game number 1, and it's been down. I mean, not that Talio's been playing bad since then, but they've just been answered. They've just been countered and answered and paid attention to far more than they were in game number 1. Decent stick, but not going to be enough. Losing your soul tank early is not going to be fantastic, but the res is there, excuse me. Back and all the way up is another epic victory right now. They realize what's at hand here, and they can ult track just as well as we can, actually seeing the numbers. They know that a lot of ultimates are on the other side. And here comes a couple.
Yeah, and while we were speaking about that, Epic found a way to recap the point here, and now they are in a strong position here. Now it's going to take Air Cakes to use their amplifier here to try to push onto the point and retake it now, as ticking up to 95% nearly on the point there. And finally, Google winning that team fight and able to get them off that point as Magic.
Just in time.
Ruben almost got blitzed out there, peeking around that corner.
It's going to be a good take from Google just in the nick of time as well. They're staring down the barrel of a same situation, right? A back-to-back domination win in the same fashion as well. Punisher ultimate up. I have to imagine they want to take out this Groot right here. Lot up, close and personal. Here comes the ultimate. That's not going to be enough to heal through if he do pull that. Barely gets out with the life the Bucky does, and still giving charge here. Here it comes. How much will they find? That's 2 big ones. Call it 3. Another one comes in, but that's going to be damage from Squirrelzor, just absolutely putting the team on the back as of right now. All the damage in the world as Blue Crimson goes down as well. A nice stick, and it's damage. It's DPS versus healers across the middle. Squirrelzor is not going to live through this one. A felled Groot on the backside and a take for another epic victory. Will they be able to get back and touch this? I'm not sure. Dash not going to be able to come in. They do not touch. And another epic victory takes down map number 4.
My goodness, what an incredible battle that was. A great retake in the nick of time there for another epic victory. As I was about to say, that it looked like Squirrelzor, all their power is in their tail, it seemed, as they were putting the team on their back, but ultimately found a way, epic victory there, to push them off and get that team wipe there, and then just Taco Beans being the last one surviving to cap that point for epic victory. Now they're just one game away from securing the creme of the prize pool for their charity, Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah, that's Doctors Without Borders here for another epic victory. That is Google's Mightiest Heroes for the side of, Make-A-Wish Foundation for Google's Mightiest Heroes. One way or another, a fantastic organization that is going to go forth and make this world a better place, and has made the world a better place since they're founding these charities, are going to be benefited off the back of this, and honestly, some fiery competition is even better.
Yeah, this has been a epic battle between these two powerhouses here, and we're going to get more of it there after this quick break, but don't go anywhere. This is the CEA Fall Finals for Marvel Rival, all powered by Amazon Luna. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks, to the CEA Marvel Rivals Fall Finals here. JT displays alongside FBI Tugboat as we are getting ready for game number 5 here, I believe, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What stands at 3-1 as of right now, in case you're just joining us. Another epic victory. Did beat the squad 3-0 in the winners finals, but it has been much more even-handed since then. 4-3 victory in map number 1. That was Yggdrasil. 2-1 comeback there, and the other best of 3 kind of format map there. Google's Midas Heroes got it done there. 1-0 in the Hall of T'Challa. That was a little bit. That was just a really great defensive stand by another epic victory originally, and then an absolute barn burner on Burnin' T'Challa. For the second domination, Google's Mightiest Heroes trying to do the same thing back to him, to take the first one, give up the second, snag that third for a W. Did not end up happening.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting. They do go back to the well of domination maps here, so they're going to go to Krakoa for their domination map number 3 in this game. So I think that domination, that's where they're most comfortable. That's what what we kind of expected from them there. I'm surprised we don't go maybe Flashpoint. I think that's an opportunity maybe to try to mix it up a little bit there. Maybe if you like running around, Flashpoint's a great map for that there. But nevertheless here, I think they're comfortable just sticking with what they love the best and trying to find ways to beat this team another epic victory. And it's going to be an interesting one as they choose to not ban the Gambit outright for the first pick.
Gambit banned first. I think it was almost like a little bit of memery on the other side with Taylor Trio and Kaldare all hovering that. But hey, we're finally going to see it. There's the protect for the Gambit. So we'll see the Emma. This makes sense. A lot of Emma Frost value that was found from Google's Mightiest Heroes on previous domination game modes.
Yeah, and so we'll see what they do with these next bans there, but no Hela, so Namora loses a little bit that value there, which I think with the Gambit there, you got to wonder, hey, maybe ban the Mag, maybe see if that's something you don't want to see happening in your face necessarily, but instead they go with the Sue Storm there. So despite thinking of maybe I thought that Sue was a really good, both teams had really good opportunities for them, but I think that it's going to be choosing to ban that one. She's one of the strongest heroes on the support side, in my opinion. So taking the heals out for both sides supports, not the worst thing to do.
Well, you have two casters agreeing on the same thing there, my friend. I do really like this Invisible Woman ban against another epic victory. In case you're unfamiliar, this will just be a ban for one of the teams. The Invisible Woman is not going to be banned for Google's Mightiest Heroes unless another epic victory uses their third and final ban for that character. The way that I believe that was Trio and Kaldare. No, it was more so Kaldare playing that Invisible Woman. They were consistently getting picks, especially onto the tanks, like especially that Groot, by just that simple pull, right? It's a push or a pull. A lot of times the push is used to get divers away, try and stay alive. The pull is a deadly usage offensively as well, JT.
Yeah, now you see the protection not only of the Gambit, but we are going to see the Mag. So I think we're almost guaranteed to get that combo going here for another epic victory at some point in this matchup here. Now, I do love getting rid of the Moon Knight there. I think that listen, if you're going to have to deal with one type of terror, let's not get too in over your heads with too many different types of terrors. Locking in the magic, I thought that Ruben did a phenomenal job on that magic there. Really kept a good ways of finding ways to get damage onto another epic victory there, and then banning out the Doctor Strange instead. So this will be a very different team comp we're seeing from there, and a lot of flyers it looks like we're going to see. So a lot on full dive there on epic victory side.
Hey, I like it. I like it a lot. Taco Bean's going back on over towards their Captain America. This was a character banned by Google's Mightiest Heroes earlier, so they'll be able to flex their wings on that character again. But yeah, a whole lot of value going to be coming aerially from the Iron Man, from the Star-Lord, or not, if they're able to get that no-fly zone set up here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do so with the usage of a hit-scan character, right? Your Hela, as much as I like it, we may not see an Adam Warlock here necessarily. The Punisher turret can really take down flyers as well.
Yeah, Warlock's one of those characters I feel like you gotta have to really study that character to get good value out of it sometimes, and I think that maybe that the supports on either side they're not necessarily the most comfortable with him there. I think that he's one of those ones that when I'm playing him there, one of those kits that it's good to get the fundamentals, but like really maximizing his value there tends to be something that only the best at what they do tend to do.
It's entirely fair. It's entirely fair. We'll see how they are able to play that. Switch it on up here. Counter picks, reactive picks, however you want to put them. On board the Taco Beans as of right now, trying to find a little bit of way in edgewise. That's a lot of damage off that shield here early. Kind of trying to take high ground. Google's by his heroes in, then rotate in. Not a horrible decision, especially when they don't exactly know what's going on the other side. Talio finding a bunch from the air so far. Punisher taken down by Taco Beans.
Yeah, nice little jump on here early, and it's going to be a nice push back there. Blue Crimson on the Magneto saying, no, listen, I'm Magneto. I know Charles. He's a personal friend of mine. Don't think about it too much. Now we're going to see Blue Crimson really pushing far back here, and that's going to allow for another epic victory to get the first cap of this point here. And they've really got air supremacy happening.
Yeah, I mean, so you'll continue to see the Captain America get a bubble here and again, but mostly that's going to be onto our Flyers, on a Pikmin and a Talio for another epic victory. There's really no reason to hold that for anybody else, especially now that they're on separate respawns now, right? Not just one bubble for you, one bubble for me, or the bubble for the year, the bubble for me. Not a decision they have to make anymore.
Much better.
Yeah, so this is going to be another thing here where we're going to see this game for the first time as well. We're going to see how each team is able to play with it there. We've got Tail Toxie with an ult available for the side of Google's Miners Heroes and another epic victory. Now I will use that ult there, give everybody a little boost here to go for the engagement here. You'll see the Emma Frost coming in as well. Help clean him up there, gets a nice big jump there, deleting half the team already. And now another epic victory. I'm going to take a quick retreat here as Google is able to cap that point and start putting on that percentage of their own.
Yeah, Talio, this is tough to try and do without a bubble, right? They do actually get it off, but even with how close they were to the ground, it didn't find anything more than just one, and it was a healer as well. At that point, what Google's Mightiest Heroes needed was not healing, but damage, and they had that in spades. See how this pushback does go if they optimize it. Here it comes. There's a Star-Lord ultimate. That's a lot off the top. Here comes the Mag ultimate as well. Down bottom, and Blue Crimson makes 1, 2, 3 players run with the dirt.
You can't out-heal those. And Luna Snow just, like you saw the ult get popped there, keeping everybody alive on the point there, but that just meant, hey, everybody's grouped up for that Magneto ult, and that's what ends up happening there. You got a fully charged Magneto ult. It's hard to out-heal that kind of burst damage from there, and that's exactly what happened here. Another victory, able to start taking up now at 80% of the way there, and they have looked completely in control of this matchup so far, with just this, and of course the value of having the team up between Gambit and Magneto cannot be understated.
It really can't, really can't, JT, and this is now a situation of Google's Mightiest Heroes getting way too aggressive. Well, you saw Ruben and Bargle by themselves, no healer with them, and the other 4 players much farther back. Well, that's going to be a decent answer from TTV late off. Now, this was a player who's played pretty much, I mean, actually, I don't think they played any healer characters, but TTV has mostly been on these tank players and now swapping on over and trying to find value on the Spider-Man. Just wasn't going to be enough on the backside of this map number 1.
Yeah, so the Grove going in favor of another epic victory as they are marching their way to the control room here, as it's going to be an opportunity to see if there are going to be any changes here. I mean, personally, I always feel like, I do wish, like, as much as I love the team ups in Marvel Rivals, I think that, if you have the environments play off to the heroes that are more, going to be found in those environments, like Krakoa, give those X-Men characters, the mutants, just a little bit of a boost here. I'm just saying, like, it's the mutants don't get enough love in the comics. Let them have some love in the
I hear you. Like, within the lore, I get it. I gotta agree with you.
starts in 5.
See how this goes, and maybe if what NetEase listens to your
All you need to do is capture the
to your
mission area.
suggestions. I'm with it. Just put JT in charge of these
Follow
things.
my lead. Or don't.
NetEase, listen to me, man. Can't wait for that paycheck.
Jesus,
Nevertheless, Squirrels
you're telling me.
on Punisher now, trying to see what they can do something against this team here. Which again, Taco Beans, you had issues with that Captain America, but they have not, I think, put a foot out of line on that Captain America so far.
Yeah, it was banned out earlier, and that's making a little bit more sense to me. Now as a slow burn comes against Google's Mightiest Heroes, they lost one, Rez comes up, they lost their tank, and now it has continued to be down. Tail Toxie, this Gambit isn't going to be available for the rest of this, and it's a slow burn against Bargle as well. Taking a look at another epic victory, all they're waiting for really is the Iron Man ultimate as well. Everything else glowing, JT.
Yeah, this next team fight could get ugly, and I personally, if I'm another victory, you may not even need to use more than 2 or 3 ultimates, but you do see 4 coming up from the side of Google's Mightiest Heroes, so I could be dead wrong on that here, as we're about to find out here. First one to pop should be a nice carousel waterfall effect here, and it is going to be the Gambit from Google's Mightiest Heroes getting that first thing going down here. Now Legendary coming down here. Epic victory in response. It is going to be the Mantis responding with her ultimate as well, and now back and forth these two teams trying to burn off these ultimates, not allowing Google near the point though, as Epic Victory is doing their job, staying together and keeping them off.
So Pigment not only falls, Pigment also falls outside of Hey Trio, excuse me, Rez from the Rocket as well, so they'll be coming back here in just a minute. Fat ultimate here from the Iron Man. That's both healers for Google's Mightiest Heroes. Done, dusted, deleted.
Double KO. Control ball.
Squirrels who are now trying to get a double of their own, as now Google is able to get the cap on the point, despite having their healers going down there to that Iron Man. Talio had a nice little engage there, but ultimately somehow Google found a way to sneak onto that point there and drive another epic victory back to the spawn to rethink their strategy after all those ults have gone down into the bin. It's just Bargle with the Emma Frost ult right now.
Yeah, and imagine this could find a whole lot of value. I mean, no support ultimate on the other side. Kildare is kind of close to it, but that's it. Now just peppering the backline is this Iron Man. Only a couple more hits away from that finding exactly what they're looking for. Here comes the charge. No, just going to continue to try and chip in damage on board the Bucky as of right now. Shotgun in the hand. Captain America will be their target. Backed on up from it. Now they immediately have to pull their attention back on over towards that Iron Man on top. I'm honestly surprised this backline hasn't fell yet. Great job from Google's Mightiest Heroes. A shotgun to the face. Tries to take a zip line up to it. I love it.
Yeah, now it's going to be Talio here trying to get onto them. He's got the pulse there, but gets deleted. He's going to have to wait for that opportunity next time, as we now try to see if Google can hold on to this here. They finally have the percentage ticked up above another epic victory had there, but now we see laid off doing the damage there with those walls, just damaging them, creating the space that his team needed, as they now have a whole bunch of ults to play with.
Yeah, this is the success that we became accustomed to from late off on this tank. Now, they weren't playing the DPS poorly by any means, but really just has created something special for this Google's Mightiest Hero squad. 4 ultimates available. Here comes the Gambit ultimate. Here comes the Mantis ultimate as well. Triple healer paying off. There comes the Rocket ultimate as well. Everything dropping here for Google's Mightiest Heroes. They're kind of trying to just find an individual pick as well. Kildare will get Rez back up, but they are fighting against one. Blue Crimson done as well, and it looks like Google's Mightiest Heroes is going to be able to take this map number 2 and push this to another map number 3.
Yeah, nice little. That's the thing about Google's Mightiest Heroes. They happen to find these the second control points here to be their. I wouldn't say the opposite of their kryptonite. I guess their candy in the candy jar, right? They are absolutely finding ways to respond after being down early, and I think that's just the way they like to play.
I mean, 3 of them so far, they haven't lost the second map. They have also haven't won a first map and continued it on to full 3 games no matter what. Talio hovering over the Star-Lord, not against this. Thing getting represented as well, as Pikmin will back up the DPS core. Hey Trio over onto the Rocket Raccoon, as well as the Gambit. Kildare's got a while before his ultimate's coming up, though.
We're gonna
Yeah,
fight.
and that not only that, Blue Crimson on the other side, Taco Beans, both those tanks. Gonna take a while for those ultimates to appear, and really just the another epic victory have less ult economy available to them here compared to Google's Mightiest Hero. So this first team fight here, I think, is going to be relying purely on their own skills, which, you know, honestly, they're pretty good. Their skills are pretty good.
They are. They are. Like that's kind of something else. It seems like Google's Mightiest Hero has done a great job situationally, but every time these two teams have really gone toe to toe, another epic victory, and like especially here at the beginning when there's not like a whole lot of ultimates available, it just kind of feels like another epic victory is going to have a mild advantage over. Here comes the ultimate one. Here comes the second. Got to take this one down, and this is why you hold on to those mag ultimates. Google's Mightiest Hero got a wipe first point.
Yeah, nice capture right there as we are trying to find if Google has what it takes to hold on to this one here to force another map here. Their backs are up against the wall here, and maybe they're just a team that loves to play with adversity as they take down another epic victory there and start moving up the percentage right now. Punisher Squirrelzor doing a really good job here, despite not being on the scroll girl. Seems to found some consistency from the Punisher here, as it is forcing Talio onto that Punisher in response there, as opposed to being on the Iron Man as was before.
Yeah, Punisher is one of those characters that another Punisher can easily counter this. Here comes the Psylocke in the back. Immediate answer from the ultimate. The triple support from Google's Mightiest Heroes showing up yet again, showing out and finding value. Kildare done. One healer deleted for the side of another epic victory. There's the res back, and this is coming in with the Punisher ultimate. This could be the game changer that another epic victory is looking for. No! Ultimate comes out for the mag as well. They're trying to protect their Punisher and find nothing. Shotgun blast to the face. Rocket Raccoon done. And this map 3 is going to one fight territory, JT.
Yeah, that was a great situational, fight there by Google, finding ways to just, not be in the death ball of murder that another epic victory was trying to throw in their way, and instead being able to outmaneuver them, out and flank them, find ways to still be on the point there and continue to tick this up here. So now this next team fight here is going to be critical. You see this Punisher trying to pepper them in here. Got the Pikmin there with Blue Crimson leading the charge for their team. Taco Beans helping out on that mag as well, trying to use that combo here. And you see the Gambit trying to do what they can here as the ult comes in from Groot, laid off, getting the double kill, putting the team on their roots right now as they have a 99. They got to get on the point. They can't get on the point. We're going to another map as Google secures their second.
Nicely done, pushing this to another longer series. Something tells me this is just where this is destined to end up, either Game 6 or the full Game 7. This will be going on over now. This, of course, the factor here is that another epic victory will be able to pick the game mode and the map, right? Google's Mightiest Heroes able to pick the attack or defense, however they want to start that one off. But at the end of the day, the fact remains: Google's Mightiest Heroes is a fantastic squad that has looked really good on domination, and it's just a different story on every other game mode.
Yeah, and I think that this is an opportunity. Like, if you're another epic victory, I think it feels like you're probably gonna go with a with the convoy map, is my guess. It just feels that way. It feels like maybe get some sort of escort to kind of push the payload there for you, just because of how much success they were able to have with that on defense early on.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the third map, the Hall of T'Challa, was probably the more one-sided of these, right? And especially given that they were able to pick offense first And then Google's Mightiest Heroes didn't, that hold on defense, the 98% hold on defense, really set up the rest of success that they would find in the next map. And it's been a great job from Google's Mightiest Heroes to stop that momentum in its tracks. Now, coming off of a W, how do they kind of mold into this? How do they go forth and find success where they just haven't afterwards? And now I'm hearing Spider Island's going to be coming up next for our CEA Marvel Rivals Finals 2025.
Yeah, so immediately gonna be another one where you're pushing the payload there and moving that spider bot onto those different checkpoints there, and that's not one where I feel like they have a little bit better team compositions that we've seen so far in these maps. Now again, that's just what we've seen. There could be something that they have in their back pocket that we haven't seen yet. And if that's the case, hey, maybe we're going to a map number 7 here. But either way, we will be finding out what that composition comes into when we start looking at those picks and bans. If you're, for you, what when you're thinking of convoys, is there any specific hero that stands out to you, if there are any?
Yeah, Google's Mightiest Heroes just did it. They just avoided the Gambit ban, and they came out and won, right? They ran it themselves, and honestly ran it to a little bit of a better extent as well. Hella, now going to be the first ban for another epic victory. This kind of makes sense given the propensity that we saw Ruben playing Namor with earlier.
Yeah, and that Hella was also having some, dealing out some damage when it was available. And I believe that was on the Google side, if I remember correctly, early on in that game mode there. So another one just kind of avoids that, but getting rid of the Bucky there, making sure that you can't get, completely wiped out from another Armed and Dangerous there, and doing it again and again and again. But instead, we're going to get the 2 blondes saved for the support and for the tank, the Sue Storm and the Emma Frost.
Visible Woman protected here for the side of another epic victory. This was a couple snap bans, like quick decisions for the side of Google's Mightiest Heroes earlier. Now they're taking a little bit more time.
That group ban there, that feels hateful.
That's personal. That feels personal, yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be TTV laid off. It's going to be absolutely targeted with that one. And can you really be surprised when this is a Google's Mightiest Heroes squad that has been running the triple support and solo tank and finding value on it? I mean, triple support, not exactly groundbreaking, but generally you're going to run that with 2 tanks and not a single tank in 2 DPS, right? I mean, that's just on paper what has been always in the past, pretty much. Because you just kind of you need the tanks to set up the ultimates, right? You just get a whole bunch of DPS ultimates. Generally not going to be enough, but they're making that thing sing.
Yeah, and I think that the Doctor Strange protection there is for TTT, is for laid off as well there. I think that makes sense just because you kind of want, those walls to kind of help you absorb so much damage, which that Groot was doing. Instead, you get the little bit more mobile wall there and a nice big stun coming off that ult. So very similarly way that their ults kind of operate. It makes sense to kind of keep that one protected there. But getting rid of the Magneto there, so that's fine. You can have your Gambits. You're not going to get tags and no magic instead as well. So again, two characters that we've seen a lot of success from, some big ults from as well. Off the board with those last bans there, and honestly, I appreciate it. I'm here for it.
Absolutely, here for it as well. See how this? Oh, they're still going to be running the Gambit. That kind of makes sense, right? Triple support, now triple tank being hovered. Okay.
Goats.
Let's see it. You won't do it. There you go. There's the no, they're gonna stick. They look like they're gonna be sticking with this and just kind of actually going over towards the Angela, Penny, and Doctor Strange. Okay.
I create my own shield.
And on defense too, because for offense, I think that would make a lot of sense there. But for defense, I think again, you got a lot of can absorb a lot of damage there. The Penny can lay down those traps, and especially with the Rocket, that beautiful little team up there again, relying on the unique mechanics of the game here. turns out could be a good move. Potentially, we'll see as they are now defending these corners around here as they're underway. The Phoenix for getting them started there as Bargle trying to put on some damage. We don't really see Bargle often on the DPS, I don't think. So, they've been usually playing those tank roles there. So using them in DPS role instead, a little bit more interesting now as Snugs on the gambit right now in front of you here, trying to keep their team alive and also dish out a little bit of that extra damage as you currently see them with.
Solid hold here, at least so far. See how this does continue, as that's a lot of damage against that Angela. She just really gets focused. That's kind of another hero, sort of like what I was talking about with the Moon Knight. Kind of a hero, I mean, not just a second and a half or even a second or whatever for Moon Knight, obviously not quite as switchy as the Moon Knight, but Google's Mightiest Heroes has been absolutely running. That is a huge ultimate, and they find both supports in the back line. And even more on the front. Kildare finished this one off with a bang.
Yeah, and you get another epic victory, doing a really good job with their defense here, just holding them down. And now that cart walking backwards here, and they've had more ults to play with as well. But we do get a couple ults, 3 of them, call it 4, let's say, for this next team fight, as Jeff's about to be ready to pop off as well for the Google's Mightiest Heroes. So maybe they can finally find a here and push this cart towards that first checkpoint.
About halfway there as of right now, or as of their maximum, I should say. Phoenix ultimate out here first. Here comes the Gambit. We'll see how this goes. Do have the Ruben Jeff ultimate out here somewhere. Now chooses their time to strike. That's too quick. One Snug shuts that down immediately. Say, hey, don't be going to get any funny ideas.
They look like they mean
Calder here with the Invisible Woman, just keeping that Doctor Strange alive for their team. Blue Crimson been a menace on that tank role here, and really, so far, I don't think we can say that another victory has really put a foot wrong in this triple support, triple tank composition here. And see the ults coming out here from Angela and from Sue there. The Invisible Woman trying to keep the heals and also root down those opponents there. The Punisher coming out with that ult in response, and instead they're still moving, but only so slowly. Now finally that cart gets stopped.
Yeah, so Blue Crimson pops the ultimate. This could be laid off on the other side. The other Strange who finds all the value in the world. A quick 2-piece there as the Rocket ultimate does come out. Gambit the next in the chopping block. That was a res on the back side, and now that's going to be another K onto the DPS. Well, it's not a bloodless victory for another epic victory, but it will be a victory for this team fight as the Emma now finding, the Emma Frost getting a lot. Yeah, that's a nasty stagger. She's not a particularly fast character, and you only have about 45 seconds left.
Yeah, 45 seconds ticking down here, and that is going to take a while on that clock as that Spider-Bot continues to do the tango up and down those stairs, trying to find its 2-step. Ultimately, though, it is another epic victory, holding them at this choke point at the top of the stairs. They are one of the biggest one of the biggest choke points on this map here, and so far it is up to Google's Mightiest Heroes using the Jeff ult here, trying to find some value there. Not able to get it though, as they will try with Telio on the Penny Parker here. Big Eye of Agamotto popping out that time, as now it's going to be the Snugs using that ult as well to try to boost up their team. And epic victory. Stopped them down here. It's down to overtime. Will there be enough for Google's Mightiest Heroes to get any?
Nicely done. Yeah, so a great hold here, and I mean, if you're a fan of Google's Mightiest Heroes, this has got to feel like a little bit of a scene that you've already seen before, right? A movie that you've already checked out, a book that you have memorized, because this is exactly, I mean, just like the other formats, right? Just like those those King of the Hill type game modes, they followed along with there, and now they're looking to not do the same thing, but in a very early stop on the offense after a little bit of success early is the same song we've heard sung before.
Yeah, and now it is all on the line here for Google's Mightiest Heroes on defense. This is going to be probably the toughest hold that they will need to do here. Obviously, they were able to push out to, I think, the toughest choke point on the map here, but instead it is going to be an opportunity, where, another epic victory knows they don't need to move very, very far to, get where they need to secure this final victory in this grand finals here. And will we get to see the Hurricane? That's another question there, because they teased it there for a second before switching over to Star-Lord.
Oh, yeah, that's not something we've seen so far, right? The Jeff and Storm team up. Honestly, if there's any one team up in this game that I think is way too much, it's got to be that one, right? I mean, come on. There's only one healing ultimate in the game that can heal for. There's only one.
To me,
and
again,
like,
I'm here for the memes. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Jeff Nato, my goodness. Any Hoodles attacking Penny Parker. We'll see how this one works out. Putting traps down everywhere, but opting to hold this corner is rather wise. Stuns and more. And now teams allowed to move up a little bit. This squad is giving up space. They cannot afford to sell. This real estate is just worth too much.
Yeah, and again, another epic victory. Comfortable with that triple tank, triple support comp here, even on the attackers, because again, the value that Telio is able to put on with this Penny Parker, using these smart minds here to really make sure that they can do what they need to for their team. Able to set up shop here, and break down that Rockets. Little drop down there. Still in danger though, as Google's looking to try to find a response.
Here it comes. If they're able to live through this minefield of arachno mines, then they may be okay. Here comes the Rocket Ultimate. Not gonna be enough. Slow burn, fast fires, regardless. Panic ultimates here from the Doctor Strange, but it was necessary at the time. Healer Dunzo as well. That's the last little bit. This is gonna be another epic victory squad taking it down here in the grand finals of the Corporate Esports Association's 2025 Marvel Rivals Grand Finals. Big shout out to Amazon Luna for making it possible as well. JT, what a map.
Man, yeah, this one felt like the stamp of authority there by another epic victory. As they come in, take this victory here, and it will be game, set, match. Congratulations to another epic victory, as well as their preferred charity, Doctors Without Borders, which does incredible work all over the globe. Not to say that Make-A-Wish doesn't. Make-A-Wish also phenomenal charity. They'll be taking that second prize point there at 504, but the 1008 going to Doctors Without Borders. Congratulations to both these teams for putting on a great show for us right now.
Absolutely fantastic show. Absolutely fantastic. Amazon Luna, appreciate y'all for making this possible. Big shout out Make-A-Wish Foundation. Big shout out to the Doctors Without Borders charity as well. $1,008 going to Doctors Without Borders. $504 going on over the way towards the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Fantastic stuff and some fantastic esports. JT, I got nothing. Got nothing to be upset about, except for, of course, that we are at the least favorite part of any broadcast, my least favorite part, I should say, and that, of course, is the end here. Shoutouts necessary once again to Amazon Luna for making this possible. Shout out to my co-caster JT Displays for having a fantastic time with me, and of course, shout out to Rhino, man behind the scenes with the ones and zeros, running production and making our jobs as casters that much easier. We very much appreciate that. Big shout out to another epic victory as well on the hat tip to Google's Mightiest Heroes. Fought hard they did. It was 3-0 earlier. They made this series much closer. JT, do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them adieu?
Honestly, yeah, I think great series here by these corporations, and on the thing I gotta say is like, hey, I can't wait for next season, right? Because I'm sure these teams are going to be back at it again for more Marvel Rivals, and by then, hey, we'll probably have at least 2 new characters, because I know we got Rogue coming. I don't know who else is coming. Like, I haven't looked at all the leaks, but I know we got at least Rogue coming here. So like we've got so much, like a new player pool, a new champion pool to really explore, and of course probably some new maps as well, and great skins.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see what the future holds. What I do for Marvel Rivals, what I do know the future holds for other esports. are such as these. The CEA Winter Games 2025 is almost upon us. Winter Games returns this month. The usual corporate-only rules do not apply at the Winter Games, so anybody can register, by the way, folks. Normally what CEA does is they work with individual corporations that field a team, kind of pay for stuff and support it that way as kind of a team-building exercise for their individuals. Obviously, we see a lot of tech companies and stuff like that, AMD, Epic, Google, stuff like this, right? But for this, the rules do not apply. Each event is 1 day only or over a full weekend within December. On December 13th, we have Teamfight Tactics and the brand new Battlefield 6. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. Next day on Sunday, there'll be League of Legends. December 13th and 14th, we'll have Rocket League, so something a little bit closer to our hearts for that one. Saturday, December 20th, we'll have 2XKO, which I'm afraid I do not know exactly what that is. JT, do you know?
That's the League of Legends fighting game.
Oh, pretty interesting. Well, that makes a whole lot more sense now. So, little fighting game action represented as well. Do like that. StarCraft 2 will also be on Saturday, December 20th. And then Sunday, the last of the CEA Winter Games 2025 will be Dota. That'll be on Sunday, December 21st. So registration is open over there at cea.gg/register. So grab your squad and go get ready. FBI Tugboat, JT Displays. If you liked what you heard, bang! Oh, nope, other side. Bang! There you go. There's the ads and stuff like that. Also, of course, follow along to CEA. Check out the more of the esports fireworks that they'll be putting on. And lastly, again, shout out to Amazon Luna. Thank you guys for watching. We will catch you on